let's get into the first of the big results this weekend. That was number 11 Oklahoma taking down number 22 Auburn, 24-17. A game that was a little controversial. A lot of controversial calls made in this game, but Oklahoma ultimately ends up on top. Let's go over the highest graded players, starting off with the Oklahoma Sooners. Their highest graded player is a guy I'll talk about in just a second. That is safety Peyton Bowen, 89.1 grade for him. Isaiah Sategna III, the wide receiver, 78.4. David Stone, the defensive tackle, 74.9. R. Mason Thomas, the edge rusher, 73.1. Linebacker Kip Lewis, 72.9. And the current Heisman Trophy favorite, John Mateer, with a 66.8 grade in the win. Let's go over to Auburn with their highest graded players in the loss. Jaquez Robinson, 77.4. Xavier Atkins, the linebacker, 74.4. Robert Woodyard Jr., 72.8. The linebacker. Defensive tackle Bobby Jamison Travis, 70.7. Kayan Lee, the cornerback, 70.4. And former Oklahoma quarterback in his return to Norman, Jackson Arnold, with a 58 grade in the loss. Dalton, for you, what told the story in this Oklahoma victory?
So Arnold's going to get a lot of the blame here, right? And obviously taking a lot of sacks and couldn't quite come through to tie the game when Auburn had a chance. But to me, this game never should have been, and this offense isn't designed to be on Arnold's shoulders as much as it was yesterday. The stat for me is Auburn only ran the ball by design 26% of the time. You take out sacks and the official nonsense counting that they do with carries and rushing yards with sacks and all that. They ran the ball 26% of the time. Hugh Freeze felt like it wasn't working early, and he basically completely abandoned it to try to get Jackson Arnold and Cam Coleman to win this ball game. And the Auburn is not designed. They're not going to win games like that with Arnold trying to carry them. They're a balanced football team. They want to run the ball first and have Arnold play complementary football with these receivers. That just never happened in this game. 18 design carries for 94 yards, which is a little over 5 yards a carry. That's pretty good, but they only had 4 yards before contact. The offensive line was getting beat. 48.8 run blocking grade for Auburn in this game. The first 3 weeks, they were just about top 20 in the country in run blocking grade. They just could not get the engine running in this offense, and it's not an offense, even with a better quarterback this year in Arnold than they've had the last couple of years. They're not designed to just drop back and throw the football. Brent Venables did a great job of making them beat him left-handed. Wasn't going to happen. If you have to just drop back, straight back, and throw the football against this Brent Venables Oklahoma defense, you're going to be in big trouble, and that's where Auburn got to. It's not the fact that they weren't efficient when they did run the ball. It's that there wasn't anything between the tackles. The offensive line did not have their best day, and they really couldn't get into all their play action and option concepts with it.
Oklahoma's front seven dominated in run defense, and man, oh man, they dominated as pass rushers too. Oklahoma had a program record 10 sacks in this ball game. Mentioned in the preview, how Jackson Arnold handles the pressure, both literally and figuratively, in this game from his former head coach and Brent Venables will determine who wins or loses this game, and it really did, because he had a 44 passing grade under pressure. Don, how about this? He was under pressure 14 times in this game. He only got 2 pass attempts off, really, in this one, too. So Jackson Arnold was just under pressure all the time, could not get the ball out of his hands. His average time to throw was 3.06 seconds. Actually, currently, right now, the Auburn has an 80.6 pass blocking grade. So it wasn't great. There was some times, obviously, where he was pressured immediately. But most of those sacks, I believe 6 of the 10 sacks that we charted for Jackson Arnold were actually charted as him holding onto the football too long, which is, 1, his fault, and 2, the receivers were not getting open at all against that Oklahoma secondary either. A lot of coverage sacks in this game too, but a program record 10 sacks for Oklahoma in this one. That's what ultimately I think really stalled out this Auburn offense.
I think that's a big thing to note there, is that the coverage was just outstanding, right? There was so many plays where, yes, Arnold had 3 and 4 seconds to stand back there and scan the field, and the more he scanned the field, the less anybody was open. I mean, Oklahoma, from front to back, Oklahoma's defense really did dominate the majority of this game as Brent Venables would want it. And look, that was the case a couple weeks ago against Michigan too. Right now, look, look, all the flashes on John Mateer as the Heisman betting favorite and what this offense could be with Deion Burks and some other guys, but it's really Brent Venables and his defense carrying the show. They've won their 2 big games this year, scoring only 24 points. That's good enough to get the job done. It certainly was on this day, but on all 3 levels of their defense, Oklahoma was fantastic in this game.
I'll actually take my most impressive right here because one of those coverage defenders is Peyton Bowen. He had an 89.4 PFF grade, 89.7 coverage grade. He had a forced incompletion and a dropped interception too. Also 3 run defense stops and 2 tackles for loss or no gain. A few years ago, he was the number 2 safety coming out of high school. The only one above him was Caleb Downs in that 2023 class. He was a 5-star recruit, a top 15 player in the country in that 2023 class, and he's had a really good career so far at Oklahoma. He is an underrated player, I think, right now. He could even declare for this year's draft in 2026. Peyton Bowen is a star. He's a very, very versatile player for Oklahoma. Could play in the slot for that defense, could play back at safety too, and he was the best player on the field, in my opinion, in this Auburn-Oklahoma game.
Absolutely, and a safety like that allows Brent Venables to use all those exotic looks that he has in the arsenal, right? Rotating those safeties, sending all those blitz packages, the simulated pressures, dropping one side and sending the other. I mean, it just allows you, we've talked about this with Ohio State and with Caleb Downs, what those guys at safety allow you to do when you have elite players that can do everything on the field. It's an immense value to a coaching staff, to a defensive coordinator.
Who impressed you the most in this Sooners win?
All right, it's going to come with a small amount of controversy, but the receiver Isaiah Sategna, right? Deion Burks did not have a huge day. Jaron Kanek did not have a huge day as a receiver. Sategna has been their best receiver over the past 2 weeks. Now, there's obviously the controversy that comes with the touchdown that even the SEC said should not have been a touchdown, with Sategna pretending to sub out and then not, and then they got basically a free shot downfield. But he also made 8 other catches in this game, especially a huge one late on a go ball that was just a fantastic catch down the sideline that set up John Mateer's game-winning touchdown run. 9 catches in total for 127 yards. Again, the touchdown is going to be a point of contention throughout, maybe the rest of the season for Auburn, depending on how things go, but an 82.6 receiving grade in this game. 2 of his 3 highest receiving grades in his career have come in the past 2 weeks. We've questioned a little bit in the past what Oklahoma has beyond Deion Burks. Jaron Kanek, the tight end, has emerged, and now Sategna is going to emerge as a second wide receiver threat. This offense is going to get a lot more balance, and they need to be, because they're still not running the football well. It's funny because to me, I thought the team that was going to run the ball better in this game would win the game. On paper, that was Auburn, but it really ended up just being neither that ran the ball well, and Auburn didn't run the football enough to dominate that battle. But if this season for Oklahoma is going to come down to John Mateer's arm in the passing game, maybe they actually have 3 legitimate receiving threats now, instead of just maybe the one that we thought they were starting the season with.
I was really impressed by Sategna in this game, too. Obviously, that controversial touchdown. I also don't.
He sold it well, clearly.
He did sell it.
He did something right there, too.
Yeah, I forgot that was illegal. I think it was legal at some point, right? And then all of a sudden
That's within the last couple of years, I think, that they've gotten rid of that.
So I think that we should talk about that just for a second, because I think one of the biggest storylines from this game is a lot of the controversial calls that seem to have gone in Oklahoma's favor in this one. What were your ultimate takeaways from the officiating in this game?
I mean, look, the SEC came out and said that touchdown shouldn't have been a thing. So that's already one admitted. There was the one that sticks out to me is the pass or what should have been a pass interference on the deep ball to Cam Coleman down the middle of the field. I mean, he basically got tackled.
The fumble recovery for a touchdown, they called it complete.
That is more of a general one, and it feels like we're going to do this. It's 2025, and we don't know what a catch is. Yeah. We don't know. And honestly, maybe it was
close enough.
Maybe they got it right. Maybe they didn't. I mean, it's a game if you're looking at it as an Auburn fan, or it's a play, I should say, you're looking at as an Auburn fan. You're going, the optics of it. And, of course, it always gets worse because, and they should do this, the refs have to hold the whistle. So to let a play out like that, and then they can go back and review it. But it just feels like, and even the Sategna catch in the fourth quarter, they ruled that incomplete at first, and then they decided it was a catch. I mean, we do this every week.
I think it was the right call.
We need some sort of, I know there's enough committees in college football. We need, NFL too, we need some sort of committee to just go, okay, here's the we need a Supreme Court of catches. That's what we need. Somebody who can just lay down the law and decide what a catch is in football.
Just put Des Bryant in charge of it and just whatever he thinks.
Yeah, I mean, there was even I think there was even one in the Utah game where it was like, they ruled this incomplete, but you go, or is hands under it? Is it moving? What's going on here? I just that's the part that frustrates me on that one is we just NFL and college, we see this every week now. What is a catch? What is the process of a catch? What is surviving it long enough? So no, I mean certainly Auburn fans are not going to feel great about the way this went down with the officiating. But at the end of the day, still a tight game, still some opportunities to win it, still another opportunity to tie it on the last drive. Right. And in the trenches, especially, to me, they didn't get it done.
Yeah, Oklahoma won this game, obviously. But, yeah, there will be a lot of controversy surrounding the officiating in this one, too. So, Oklahoma ultimately ends up on top with a 24-17 victory. And, Dalton, just spoiler alert, for our top 25 later on in the show, they'll be moving up a lot in that top 25. So, we'll get to that later on. But Oklahoma, very impressive start to their season so far.